Hello everyone. Quick announcement before we get into the reading. I just wanted to let everyone know that I have started two things. One is my Patreon site where I will be uploading all of the extended portions of the videos, the in-depth look of the videos and readings. Sometimes when I do the clarifying cards, and I put a bit of extra material. All of that is now going to be over on Patreon, as well as I've finally been able to start my tarot and oracle deck unboxing and review series. And I'm going to be starting to unbox various tarot decks, review them in depth with you, and each month these decks will be given away in a monthly member giveaway. So in order to be eligible for the giveaway, you just have to join my Patreon site, and the cost of being a patron over there, I just ask for $1 a month, and that's it. There's one tier, one amount to join, and it's just a way, just simply a way for me to be able to facilitate these reviews and to be able to give out these beautiful decks. The more people join, the more patrons I have, the more decks I will review each month, and the more decks I will give away. So, for those of you who want to see the unboxing, go straight to the link. I'll include the link here and in the description box, and you'll find out more information about the series and my Patreon site there. Or you can go directly to my Patreon site and see the extended unboxing and review video there. All right, guys, thank you so much. And without further ado, straight to the reading. Hello everyone, welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. We're going to get right into the August love reading for the sign of Gemini. Alright, Geminis, we're going to get right into it. Pull out your Romance Angel Oracle deck. Cross watchers, everybody's welcome. Other videos should be up. Quite a few videos will be all uploaded at once. So let's get right into getting your two Angel Oracle cards out, Gemini, for this August period. First up, we've got heart-to-heart conversations. Interesting, right? Beautiful. All right, conversations, heart-to-heart is always good. Communication is always good. Express your love. All right, so those are very compatible cards. Bottom of the deck, we have stay optimistic about your love life. So it's looking good, Gemini. So far, so good. We won't really know until we get into your spread. So let's just see what it's all about. All right, let's see what's going on with Gemini this August period. Gemini, August 2019, in love. Let's see. Let's get a clear picture. Show me. All right. Your first card out, Gemini, is Three of Pentacles. All right. So works. All right, together. Partnership. Ten of Swords. There's that old death of the ego, end of a long struggle. Magician coming out. So you're very adept right now, trying to manifest a lot of things, maybe having to try over, try again, right? Eight of Pentacles. Discipline is coming in at work. And the Lion is at the center. Leo energy at the center. Needs strength, right? Strength over your emotions. Sun, beautiful. A lot of major arcana. You're going through some heavy stuff right now, Gemini. Again, here we go. We've got the Moon. All right. So there's something hidden going on, and then a lot of chaotic energy coming in, a lot of messages coming in. And we have the Devil at the end of the day. So be careful not to be a slave to your passions. Interesting. Bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Cups. So that's beautiful. Outpouring of love. That's a desire, a new love. When love is new and fresh and everybody's excited, right? Everybody's feeling like giddy, right? So let's see if I can get this a little bit straightened out here. All right. There we go. So coming in, we have Three of Pentacles. So right away, we're talking about getting a lot of recognition at work. Could be that if you're an artist, people are coming in, starting to commission your work. People are starting to recognize you. People want to come forward and work with you on something tangible, right? Make money with you. Right now, and it's quite good, Gemini. You feel good about that. You always feel good when you're working with people on projects. You're a people person anyway. But certainly here you get some accolades. 3 is the number for, excuse me. 3 is the number for bonding, loyalty, and patience. So also it can indicate having patience. Sometimes it can take a while for a business venture to take off, for people to start to come, but they are starting to come now. 10 of Swords, so it's the end of a long battle, right, Gemini? You're coming into a new period now in your life. The old you no longer serves you. This is the death of the old ego, right? This card is quite heavy because it means that you've come to the end of a long road that has changed you fundamentally. You simply aren't the same person you used to be. And it's good. That's positive, right? But there's always a little bit of mourning for the old person. So this card doesn't come without growing pains, right? Just the realization that you've gone through so many changes sometimes can be really jarring, right? But certainly it's a good thing because it means that you have outgrown that smaller version of you, that smaller I, ego, for a bigger, more evolved, not a bigger ego, but a more evolved ego, right? Ego, a wiser ego, a wiser sense of self, right? And so you're feeling that. 10 of Swords is something that we know, we feel very acutely. You're aware of this. This is not an energy that you need to think about. You know that you've changed. You know that you're a very different person. It could be that because you're coming to the end of this period, it's time to have that heart-to-heart conversation. You may have been very withdrawn while you were on this journey. Right? While you were on this road or in this stage of your life, you may have been more withdrawn with this individual. Right? There's someone you care about. There's a love interest here, right? But it could be, yes, that you were just really going through a difficult period and you couldn't really express your love. And now you're coming to the end of that period and you want to very much manifest something, some dreams and some wishes, right? You feel like now's the time. You have the energy. You have all the tools at hand, right? You're a lot wiser than you used to be, certainly after this journey. And so you're really ready to jump in and begin to kind of work on manifesting some of your dreams and your goals. The one thing with the Magician, though, is that he doesn't always get it right. People sometimes mistaken the Magician for the master. The Magician is not a master. He's a magician. And magicians don't always get it right. Sometimes they have to go back to the drawing board. They have to figure out the exact combination, right, to perform the ritual or the practice or the craft or the alchemy or whatever, what have you, whatever metaphor you want to use, right? But it doesn't always work. And so the Magician also has that sense of not stopping, trying again, and perfecting his craft, right? Eventually working towards becoming a master, right? But when do you ever become a master? You know, being a master at anything can take a lifelong practice, right? And so the Magician is still always the student, and yet he is capable. You have all the tools at hand and you are absolutely capable right now of starting to manifest some of your goals. 8 of Pentacles is coming in. So 8 is the number for restrictions that can translate into discipline. So right now you're being very disciplined. You're being disciplined because you want to master your craft, your skills. You want to become a better artist or better at whatever career you're in. 8 of Pentacles shows a handcrafter perfecting his work. He's making all of these pentacles by hand, which shows his level of skill to be able to reproduce them in such exacting detail, right? Oftentimes this card is mistaken for boredom at work when in fact it is talks actually much In fact, it has nothing to do with boredom. It talks about being disciplined and focused, restricting yourself from things like devil energy, right? Indulging in instant gratification sort of experiences for the sake of making sure that you are focused and able to work on your craft. And there's a virtue and a grace in this as well. But it's something that has to be done when you want to become good at something. You have to keep working at it. You have to be disciplined. You have to put boundaries up around you for influences that take you away from the focus. Only when you truly work at something can you become a master at it. Just like reading the tarot, you know. Learning how to really properly and get the most out of tarot reading, it takes many, many years to learn that and to really come to like that level where you can really use the craft to help yourself on your journey. It can take a very long time because you study it. Same thing here. Eight of Pentacles talks about studying, perfecting, practicing. Always reminding yourself that it takes hard work to become good at something. Becoming a master to anything is not just something that is appointed to you. It's something that you work for. And the Strength card comes in at the center of the reading. Leo's coming in, 8 of the major arcana. So right now you're being called to really have a lot of control over your emotions. It could be that things are happening right now that are causing you maybe to be a little bit erratic with your emotions, Gemini. You might be feeling very emotional, up and down. You might be having some of those roller coasters, right? Those roller coaster feelings because you're going through this end stage right now, right? And things are happening for you at work, right? And you have this love. So there's a lot of things on your plate. And I think right now, certainly with the Strength card, we talk about playing to our strengths, right? And taming those parts of us that are part of our weaknesses, you know. Indulging or giving in to our baser emotions is a weakness. By exercising control over those emotions like jealousy, pride, anger, envy, those are all baser emotions that we have to work. We have to be strong in order to control those sort of negative energies. You can't just meditate them away. You can't just like think they're not going to be there. We're human beings, right? So we're to a certain degree hardwired to be like that for a reason, to overcome it. It's in the overcoming these things that we get closer to the divine. And so here we talk about really being strong. The strength that you show in the 8 of Pentacles as well. Making an effort, right? Making an effort to adjust any kind of behavior in yourself that you're not happy with, that you feel makes you weaker rather than stronger, right? So we have 8 and 8 and another 8. So this period now is all about boundaries. It's all about you understanding your weaknesses, you understanding your strengths, right? And working and living according to that, right? Being aware of that, not letting yourself succumb to when you and I don't want to say that you're weak, because nobody's weak, but we all have weaknesses, right? And if we know what that weakness is, we can stop ourselves from falling prey to our own weaknesses and encourage ourselves to play to our strengths, right? But we have to know what they are, and we have to be honest about that and show the strength. So this is your center card, and that's the major energy right now this month for you. But the sun is coming out, which is affirmation of things going well, the universe being on your side. You know, you're feeling very creative. The sun talks about a high level of creativity, positivity, right? You're feeling positive about life. You generally are feeling quite good right now. And I think that's why we have heart-to-heart conversations to express your love. It could be that you're coming out of a period that you may not have been feeling this good at all. And now it's kind of like turned all the way around. And maybe it's time to go back to this love, right? This person you really care about, who perhaps you weren't able to express your love to so well. up until recently? Or perhaps you do, like it says here, have to have some heart-to-heart conversations to perhaps explain why you maybe were more distant. Because now you're certainly coming into a period of feeling a lot more self-confident. You have a lot more energy, right? I think this whatever this journey was for you, whatever this stage was, it could have been a stage of just not having a lot of money, not having a job, maybe going through issues with ex-husbands and wives and children, whatever the case may be, maybe dealing with a family issue. Whatever this is, it's a very difficult journey because you see the swords impaling the figure. So you've really been hurt, right? It's really been hard. And yes, you've come out of it a stronger person, but that's not to say that along the way, you may not have acted at times in ways you didn't want to. You may not have, perhaps you lashed out at times, perhaps you were cold at times when you didn't mean to be. And that's okay. We're all human. But now that you're feeling good, I think you're feeling this real desire to kind of make up for some of these things, right? To express your love, to have those heart-to-heart conversations with your person, express maybe why you've not been as happy or as strong up until now. There is an aspect of moon energy here, and I think you feel there's something that's been going on that you don't really know, right? And so this is what I'm talking about. I think that what happened here is that you had a relationship with somebody you very much loved, but because you were going through an emotional turmoil or mental turmoil at the time, some kind of very difficult responsibility that you were shouldering, right? Something happened with this relationship. You acted in a way to pull away from this person. You may have pushed this person away because they don't really factor in anywhere except for here in the Ace of Cups. This is really mostly all about your feelings. We will get into a deeper look in the extended video, which I have on the Patreon site. But in any case, so I think there was maybe a bit of a separation that happened, and you began to throw yourself into your work. And as you started to come out of this period and you start to throw yourself into your work, whether this has happened recently or is about to happen, this whole process begins to strengthen you. You begin to find your feet again, your strength. You begin to come to terms with who you are now after coming out of this period, and you start to feel confident again, right? However, in the meantime, your person has kind of moved away from you, right? Your person and you aren't that close anymore. And so now there's things going on, and now that you're kind of out of your personal haze here, I don't want to say haze, but out of your personal kind of like, not even nightmare, but just really turbulent times. Now that you're coming up for air and you're really starting to look around you, you're seeing that, hey, this person I really care about that was there, maybe I pushed them too far because now I don't know where they are. Because the moon is coming in now. The moon indicates there's feelings there you're not quite sure. There's a communication going on that you're not quite sure about. Certainly with this aspect to the Eight of Wands and being underneath of this Eight of Pentacles. It's almost as if all of the restrictions and discipline you put on yourself to bury yourself in your work, which you needed to do, right? Also alienated you from this individual, and now you find yourself kind of in this moon energy, this kind of very murky, shadowy energy where you're really not sure where their feelings are. Are they seeing someone else? You're getting a lot of conflicting information coming in, right? So Eight of Wands talks about all kinds of info coming in, data coming in, feedback, but it's all very chaotic. It's coming in at different lengths. And so now, again, with the Eight again, we see the need for focus, right? Being disciplined, having maybe employing a certain criteria for what you will pay attention to and what you won't, which is basically equates to boundaries, right? Having certain boundaries, so you're not just going to let everyone in. You're not just going to let everyone just talk to you anyway, or just, you know what I mean? So this is, stopping this kind of chaotic flood of I want to say sensory input, right, from others, their opinions, their 2 cents, their energy, all of that is all about putting up boundaries. right? Focusing, putting up boundaries, having criteria for who you will entertain or not. And so all of these mixed messages, I think, is really making you kind of feel like, hang on, what's going on? And then you have the devil here. And so this devil is really kind of like at work here in a way. Now, when I say the devil is at work, I don't take it, I don't mean to say that there's the devil is actually at work. What I'm saying, the devil card is us. You know, it's not an outside entity. Some people do believe that, but I do not. Okay, so the devil is more to do with our baser animal side, our passions, our sexual energy, right? Because what happens is it's through that energy. The devil is all about creativity. Because it's through sex that we make the best creation in the world. We make humans. We create life through sex. And sex is associated with the devil. Passion. Kundalini. And so the devil isn't bad, sex isn't bad, but what is bad is that when these energies are not connected to a higher purpose, then you become a slave to them. And this is when addictions begin to come in. This is when instant gratification is the words of the day, right? And this is where you start to find this is the archetypal devil energy, because now it's taking you down a path that is not positive. Now you're going down a path that is ultimately going to hurt you, right? That is not going to be positive for you. Now, this isn't because there's an outside devil acting on these people. It's because the individuals have chosen to enslave themselves and worship the material, right? Worship the instant gratification. Worship the land of shallow satisfaction without aspiring to anything higher. When we take this energy, this passionate sexual kundalini energy, we call it, right? When that energy is properly focused, like let's say in the case of the Eight of Pentacles, when that energy is properly focused, that sexual raw energy, that is when we get some of the greatest works of art. Right? Works of art, works of music, sculpture, all the aesthetics, all of that comes from sexual energy, from that that chakra, that's second chakra in the sexual organ area, right? Where they say Kundalini energy resides, where it burns, where you can kind of cultivate, or you can harness that kind of raw sexual energy. And then what happens is when you're able to channel that into a truly creative path, right, or a focus, a creative focus, this is when we have inventions, and this is when we have, you know, paintings and things like that are created, right? Some of the best pieces of art are created. And this is why people are always talking about the sexual reference or the sexual energy in the art or whatever, because it is from there that the inspiration comes, right? That raw kind of power. So that is the devil, and so that is, you know, that is really the meaning of the devil card. Devil card is really for Capricorn, and it indicates creativity, ultimate creativity in the world of the material. But don't be a slave to it. And it seems to indicate here that you have really, you really need to kind of almost catch up. It's like you came through this period and it's like you lost track of this person, and now you're going to have to find them. You have to cut through some of this, I don't want to say, it's like you have to get to them, you have to reach them. There's been a distance, there's been a separation, right? And so that Eight of Wands is probably, could be your social circle, people coming in, trying to tell you what's going on. It could be gossip as well, misinformation coming in. And again, it's just making the whole situation more shadowy and confused, right? So just take care that you don't go then into this devil energy, which is kind of passionate. It's kind of like addictive, right? In a way, it's like don't obsessive, right? Don't get too obsessive, because if you don't have what will happen is, if you don't have this conversation, if you don't find this person to have this conversation, sit down and get to the bottom of this energy, it can turn into kind of a darker side of the devil card, where it's like very codependent. It can suddenly turn quite toxic, the interaction. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to take the opportunity now of this positive energy you have to find your person and try to patch things up, to try to have those conversations, explain perhaps why you were pulling away or why you were so distant or going through the things you were going through that you didn't necessarily mean to push them away. Because certainly you love them with the Ace of Cups here. This is for someone, this is for the Gemini who's in love with this person, right? And I can't really say anything about this person because they don't really represent anywhere in this love reading. They only came here as the Ace of Cups. It's almost as if it's like you went through so much, you know. It's like you woke up now from everything. So I want to say, like, sometimes when you have drug addicts, for instance, and they're in their addiction, right? It's like their life is a fog, right? They live in this kind of fog. And then when they come out of their addiction, it's like they wake up and everyone's gone. Things are gone. But they, you know, things were gone for a long time, but a lot of times they don't realize until they get clean or sober or they become, they battle their addiction and they conquer their addiction that they notice that. And I'm not saying this is what's going on with you, Gemini, but this is the example of what I'm feeling here. It's almost as if you were in this fog with this scenario that you were dealing with, trying to get your work together, trying to deal with this very difficult period of time, which I don't know exactly what that was, but it was very difficult. And it's like you were in this fog, and now that you've come out of it, it's like the person that you love, you've kind of pushed them away, and it's like you have to go after them if that's what you want. Right? They may still love you. Stay optimistic. They may still love you, but it's just that whatever you were doing with them or whatever way you were interacting when you were in this fog, it caused you to now not to be kind of where you thought you were now that you're back out in the sun. All right, I'm going to call it. This is your reading for August, Gemini. If you want to go and view the extended portion of this video where I also pull 9 Thoth cards to clarify these cards. And I also pull a Sacred Rebel Oracle card. You can go ahead over to my Patreon site. It's only $1 a month to join, and you can see the extended video over there. All right, I'll put a link in the description box, and I'll put a link at the end of this video. But other than that, if this resonated with you, you please like, subscribe, sound off in the comments. Let me know if you're going through a situation like this. Share it with the community. A lot of times you share things and other people can get something out of what you're going through. So please, by all means, if you feel comfortable enough, do share your story. But for right now, Gemini, you know how much I love my Geminis. You have a wonderful, wonderful August month, and I'll see you mid-month for the mid-month love check-in. Bye-bye.